For me, cannabis has changed my life in such a profound way. When I'm feeling really, really anxious or if I snap at my son, I just need to get out of mom mode and get back into like calm, spiritual, grounded Jamie. Hello party people, welcome back to HellaJam. If you guys are new here, my name is Jamie and I post mostly thrift videos, lifestyle videos, being a mama with 2 babies that are 2 and under, as well as imperfect sustainability. I'm trying. We can all try, right? To be better for the world. This is about marijuana and my relationship with it, being a mother who still uses marijuana, both recreationally but also medicinally. I just kind of wanted to talk to you guys, tell you my story and the stigma. I know I'm probably going to get a lot of hate from a lot of other people about this video, but I've never really lived in fear of what other people would think when it came to cannabis because I'm such a believer of this magical flower. I feel really bad because I've been like promising the HellaJam family a video on this, and like finally 2 babies later I have enough cojones and time to talk to you guys about this. I originally recorded something before and I wanted to kind of elaborate a little bit more. I snapped at Soul and Steph was like, I think you need to go outside and smoke. And I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I still don't fully feel comfortable smoking. Part of me is holding on to Jamie pre-babies and how I view marijuana as medicine. Other parts of me still feels like I need to go the safe route because I am still breastfeeding Leo. I need to go the safe route because there aren't as many tests is what doctors say. But I've also had multiple doctor opinions, Kaiser specifically, have to say that like there aren't enough tests. My previous doctors from like a different, when I first got pregnant with Soul, said like, I'd much rather you choose cannabis than alcohol. And ever since I talked to him, that was like early in my pregnancy, I was like, meh, okay. It's a mixed bag. But anyway, Steph was like, I think you really need to just go outside and smoke a little bit or maybe have some CBD. I was like, do I really? You really think I need to? And he's like, I think you should. He's like, I think you're just really anxious. And at that moment, I knew I was anxious, but I didn't think that like, I just didn't want to help myself, you know? Mind you, I tried to make dinner. It took so long. It's already 8:30. Soul barely even ate, didn't want to eat. Food's still not ready. I tried to make like chow mein, like one of the freezer frozen meals, just in case situations like this happen. And sure enough, it got burnt. So scary. So I felt like a little bit of a failure there. And then I was feeding like Leo rice and a packet. It was just really overwhelming. And then Steph was like, you know what, I'm going to give them a bath, get them ready for bed first, and then you go smoke. I smoked, and I'm like instantly better. And this is the beauty of medicinal marijuana. There is this stereotype that if you smoke marijuana, if you use marijuana, you are a lazy person and probably like force feed McDonald's and Cold Stone at the same time. Probably smell like McDonald's. That's what people think. That's not the case. I think it's really important we end that stigma because I was just so anxious 10 minutes ago and snapped on my son and frustrated. And then I smoked a little bit, like literally just a couple puffs, washed my hands, brushed my teeth, washed my face. And then I went straight to the bathtub with my son. And I said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for snapping at you. I'm just really tired and da-da-da-da-da. Medical marijuana, I need to stop feeling bad about it. And I think that we need to stop judging other people based off whether or not it's safe to smoke and breastfeed or whatnot. Like, I am a big believer my entire pregnancy that if I'm anxious, I'm not helping the baby. When I was pregnant, that's what my thought was if I'm pregnant and I'm so incredibly anxious, stress is gonna hurt the baby more than something that will calm my nerves and zen me out and get me out of my head. I just think we need to stop judging. We need to stop shaming people who use medicinal marijuana. And I think it's taken me a long time to feel confident in telling my audience that. Mind you, do not take my medical advice at all. Talk to your doctor, talk to somebody in this field. I'm just telling you my own personal experience, what has worked for me, and it may not work for you. So don't listen to me. Just take what I'm saying for a grain of salt from my experience. I started smoking recreationally when I was around like 15 or 16. I wasn't like one of those kids that like would sneak around and like smoke at the skate park, or like I definitely had friends who did that, but that wasn't really my thing. I was actually a goody two-shoe. I was like student body president, like very, very involved in school. But I did grow up in a very kind of strict house, and I didn't realize that I was just like really, really anxious and was trying to live up to like this like really, really high pedestal. Weed just really, really helped me let go of my anxiety and kind of like calm down, and it made me more in touch with my breath, my thoughts. It kind of helped my like scatterbrain, like ADD. I just felt like I was very much like always like go, 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 go. And it kind of just helped me just really calm down and be present. It wasn't to just like, I'm going to get high. It was nothing like, I mean, like, yeah, I was in high school, I guess, but I felt like it was more of like a spiritual experience for me. When it came to like partying and stuff, I just realized that I don't really like alcohol very much. And it never, maybe it's because I got the Asian glow. I would always like, maybe I'm allergic to it, but I just didn't get the same effects that everybody else did drinking. But I did feel like more at ease smoking, and only smoking a certain amount. I didn't smoke too much where I would just like be comatose like on the couch. It would always be just, I knew exactly how much for me to like actually stay up and rally and have fun with my friends, but not feel like shit the next day. And then when I got pregnant with Soul, my doctor, I asked him about cannabis and, you know, what are his thoughts on it. And he said, you know, I'd much rather you smoke medical marijuana than drink alcohol because you don't want to stress out the baby. Like if you are stressed, you're going to send that energy to your baby, and that's not good. So I kind of just listened to him, and then I switched over to Kaiser, and Kaiser was like, we're going to call Child Protective Services. Not really, but they are very strict about it. I smoked just like a handful here and there when I was pregnant with Soul, and it definitely helped with my anxiety then because I was really, really anxious the first trimester. I just had to listen to myself and my body. Mind you, I've never been the person, like I wasn't smoking bong rip after bong rip. It was literally just like a little toke here and there, and that was it for the day. And it wasn't an everyday thing. It was really just smoking just a little bit here and there. Soul is completely a healthy, smart, sweet, and funny little guy, and I'm very lucky that he's healthy and he's good. And then I got pregnant with Leo, and I just realized, you know what, I did smoke a little bit more with Leo, at most 15 times during that pregnancy, I think. But even then, like I still felt really, really guilty. And I'm still breastfeeding her. I didn't really start smoking until I was about like 6 months postpartum. Juggling 2 babies is already like so intense, but for me, just being able to go outside at the end of the night instead of having a glass of wine, just taking a couple drags, it just helps me put things into perspective and kind of like takes my mind outside of like go, 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 you know, of just momming all day and getting things done and putting everybody else first. It kind of gives me that moment to myself to like take a step back and not be in mom mode, but really, really just be present. Like I noticed that like at the end of the day, if I go outside and smoke, obviously I go back into the bathroom, wash my hands, brush my teeth, maybe change my clothes, and then I play with my son, and I'm like so incredibly present with him, and it's different than I'm just on autopilot other days. I just want to stop shaming myself, and I want people to stop shaming moms for using this marijuana as a medicinal. It's just like using anxiety meds, but better. It's not addictive. There hasn't been enough studies with marijuana usage and being pregnant or breastfeeding. Supposedly there's just a small percentage that does pass if you're smoking THC that passes through the breast milk. Now, let me kind of explain for all the beginner moms who, or people who just aren't really familiar with cannabis. So marijuana obviously grows from like, it is a plant. The marijuana that people smoke is technically called like the flower. There's either THC or there's CBD. THC is where you kind of get like the head high, and then CBD is more of the body relaxation. So you'll probably see like Goop and all these wellness companies that are like, oh, CBD treatment or CBD lotion or CBD tinctures. There are so many different types of like CBD products now, and it's basically marketing to people to just kind of help you relax and not get that THC head high. CBD is more for like if you have body aches and pains, or if you're anxious. Oftentimes, like my husband takes CBD tinctures, which are like little oil drops that you put at the bottom of your tongue for just a few seconds and then swallow. That helps my husband, who gets anxiety and panic attacks, like tremendously. He takes it every night. He also has insomnia. He takes it every night. Doesn't get the anxiety feeling that he would if he had anything with THC, which is the head high. Sometimes for my own happiness and comfort, I do like smoking just either out of my cute little pipe or just like a little J, and I'll literally just take 2 little drags and put it to the side and I'm done for the night. And like I said, I don't smoke every day. I still don't feel comfortable smoking every day. It's just when I'm feeling really, really anxious, or if I snap at my son, I just need to get out of mom mode and get back into like calm, spiritual, grounded Jamie. And I basically just use that as my medicine to just kind of recenter and reframe my thinking. Like, how am I parenting right now? Am I just like nagging at my child, or am I like so irritable and just snapping, or can I communicate to him in a better way that isn't like scolding, but more so like in a loving and nurturing way? So yeah, there's tinctures, and then there's also like edibles. I want to be clear, edibles has changed since I had edibles back in like college or high school. Like, now that marijuana is legal in California, the cannabis products are just so much better, and the dosage is correct, and you can't. Before, you would take like a homemade brownie, for instance, and you'd get really, really high, and it would get really heady. You'd get in your head, and it was very, very scary, and it was just like not fun at all. Like, that would 100% make sure you never touch marijuana again. Now they have like beautiful like Lord of Jones gumdrops. They look like your British grandma's like sweet, beautiful, like handy gummies, and they barely taste like marijuana, and it's like a warm blanket is what it feels like. There's nothing in the head. It literally just makes you feel like like all the anxiety, all the stresses, it's just like you gotta get this feeling like you're gonna be okay. You're gonna get through this. Tomorrow's a new day. You know, it's like, that's what it, like, it's just such a beautiful, beautiful medicine in that aspect. So yeah, you have edibles like that, and then you also have like gummies. You have like chocolate blueberries, which I do like, from Kiva. You have, there's just so many. I highly recommend doing your research though, and speaking to a professional and figuring out, and only taking like a small amount. Don't just take a small amount and figure out how you feel after that. For me, cannabis has changed my life in such a profound way. It has helped me with anxiety and depression, and it's kind of helped me look inward and really, really love myself, to see all of my flaws and accept my flaws for who they are. That is what cannabis has done for me. And now that I'm a parent, it has only made me a better human, knowing that I can smoke just a little amount for me to be exceptionally present with my children and have fun and to not be angry. Like sometimes as a mom, like you're just so busy and you're just constantly giving that it's so easy for you to just feel this like weight over your shoulders. And sometimes just smoking for me, or maybe having like a CBD tincture or like a CBD little like edible, it really helps me just let it go. Like let go all the stress, the little things that you're doing, like that it doesn't matter. What matters is like right now. And I love it. And I think the reason why I'm afraid to talk about it in such a public space is because it's something that is so dear to my heart that I think I would get defensive. And if somebody were to attack me based off my decisions of, I just feel like it's like kind of it's just a part of my heart and I'm afraid to share it. But then there's another part where it's like, if I met you in real life, I wouldn't care what you thought. It seems more intense through YouTube. But if I met you in real life and you judged me, I would just not care about you. Be like, your opinion doesn't matter to me. I don't know you. I don't care to know you. So, yeah. See, I'm still working through my own shit. I'm not a doctor. I don't want you to be like, oh, well, HellaJam said this, so I'm going to try this. I'm just telling you about what has worked for me. And, yeah, that's it. Cool. I think it's important to do your research and know the different strains, like whatever you're purchasing, making sure you know what type of high you're going to get. Like if you're going to smoke something that is THC and you want to use it as like a recreational experience, I would make sure that you know what type of feeling you're going to get. And that's what's so beautiful about just marijuana these days and shopping, especially like in Oakland or in California. Like you're able to talk to somebody and say, hey, this is how I'm feeling. Can you please prescribe me? Like it's a proper experience where people are showing you like what will help you. If it's your anxiety, if you're feeling like unmotivated, if you're feeling you definitely don't want to be on the couch, or if you do want to just chill, if you want to just find a way to just kick back and relax and turn your brain off. Like there are professionals who know the different strains and know what can kind of like guide you properly and prescribe you in a way where it won't scare you. What up, party people? I realized that I could probably explain this a little further. I'm pretty much done editing, but I wanted to kind of pop on here to give you guys like a Cliff Notes version of what I've learned. Granted, this entire video is based off my experience. I felt like I needed to do a little bit of research to kind of explain to people who aren't familiar with recreational and medicinal marijuana. Felt like it was my responsibility to share some legit facts. According to Healthline, so CBD and THC don't have the same psychoactive effects. It is psychoactive, but it's just not in the same manner as THC. It doesn't produce the high associated with THC. So that's what I mentioned before. It's not so much of a head high, but CBD is shown to help with anxiety, depression, and seizures. So CBD is used to help with seizures, inflammation, pain, psychosis or mental disorders, nausea, migraine, depression, and anxiety. THC, however, is used to help with pain, muscle spasticity, glaucoma, insomnia, low appetite, nausea, anxiety. Second source is from Leafly, and it says that THC is easily defined as the way cannabis makes you feel, whereas CBD is, it can't be felt. So like what I mentioned before, head high is THC, kind of like the like in the movies where you see people say like, I'm so high. It's because it's the THC gives you that head high. Whereas CBD, it's like, it really does feel like a warm blanket. It helps so much with my anxiety. It helps a ton with Steph's anxiety. It just really calms down the nerves. And then you have the different strains. So you've got sativa, indica, and then you have a hybrid, which is obviously the mix between the two. Sativa is very much something that I used to use or take or smoke when I used to go out and party. So instead of, like, if I went to a music festival or if I went to a club or a bar, instead of drinking alcohol, because I'm just not fun when I drink alcohol. Like, it hits me and then I just immediately I'm just like, I'm just gonna take a nap. Whereas sativa, for me, I would just smoke a little bit of sativa and it would like give me energy, almost like a Red Bull, but much nicer, less of a crash. I would just do that and then I could just like party and stay up with the rest of my friends rather than like take a shot and then like want to take a nap after. Indica is actually what I've been smoking recently, which is very similar to, like, you know how some people will have like a glass of wine after a long day to kind of relax? That's what I would take. So oftentimes people who smoke indica, if you just want to relax on the couch, maybe just like chill out, veg out on the couch, maybe like let your mind just calm down, you would take a indica or smoke an indica or a tincture or whatever it may be. All of this is based off of my experience. Of course, I can go a little bit more in detail, but of course, like, that's what Google's for. So I just basically wanted to kind of give you guys like a very Cliff Notes version of what I found online based off my research. Everything's just a quick Google search away. So definitely do your own research and speak to a professional. That's why I love going to dispensaries before COVID-19 happened, because you can just tell that person like, hey, I have really bad aches and pains, but I don't want to be have a head high. I just want to chill, or I'm really, really anxious. You can tell them and they'll be able to prescribe you a proper dose and prescribe you in a way that you don't feel overwhelmed the first time you smoke or you take a tincture, or they'll give you different types of advice on the best way to kind of ease in to make sure that it's like proper medicine, rather than just like back in the day you used to like buy it from someone and be like, hey, just keep smoking bong rips. And anyways, so yeah, other people who are experienced and have done a ton of research, I'd love for you to comment below and like, let's have this conversation. And like I said, like, let's not shame each other based off marijuana use. There are delivery services. So there's like, especially now with COVID-19, I use Eaze, EAZE. And what's really awesome is on their site, they have women-owned weed companies, as well as like social impact companies that give back to communities that, for instance, were wrongfully put in jail just because they used to sell weed or because they were caught with weed, which is so ridiculous because it's such a peaceful drug. Like, when have you ever heard somebody smoke and kill someone? Sure as hell was not marijuana. But anyways, that's beside the point. But yeah, I love purchasing from businesses that have a social impact, that really are trying to give back to the community that were once penalized for selling or being caught with weed, to, you know, actually helping these communities, that mainly Black communities that were treated unfairly, still are treated unfairly. That's another subject. But I do suggest that if you want to purchase marijuana, women owned, because we have to be there for our sisters, support our sisters, as well as Black owned or social impact that give back to people in need that have been in this game for a long time, because we don't need to gentrify the weed business any more than we already do. So that's my little tidbit. Okay, back to the story. All right, so if you liked this video and you're not part of the HellaJam family, you know what to do. Go on ahead and click that subscribe button. I'd love for you to join the HellaJam family. We are a pretty dope tribe, a lot of positive energy here, and a lot of realness. So if that all sounds good to you, come join the HellaJam family and leave a comment and let me know your thoughts on this video. Ideally, positivity. If you're a troll or if you have some mean things to say, you can just keep it to yourself, because we don't need that negative vibes here. All right. Thanks so much, guys. Hope you have a wonderful day. Peace.